Hey, what's up, guys? So I had an amazing day yesterday. If you followed, I was here on giving. I gave away 10 batter props. Out of the 10 batter props and some of the plays that we had, it was a total of 11 plays that I shared, and it was an 8 for 3 day. I'm gonna go through that very quickly, but then I also have 8 batters for you today, and I have two very strong plays. I'm actually gonna explain each play very in detail. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna hook you guys up with some plays today that are gonna be powerful. Let me go live on Instagram, and then let me start sharing some of this stuff here. Again, we had a great day yesterday. Let me show this real quick. So yesterday we had the Tigers at a -1. They were actually down 4-0, right around here, like the seventh and eighth inning. You can see they were down 4-0. I actually took them live again on the money line, and I was not chasing it because I already had done the research and I knew that the Tigers had a good chance to win. Anyways, they ended up scoring two at the end, right there at the top of the 10th. They went into extra innings. That hit for us. Like I said, I hit this at a money line when they were down 4-0, and you can see the odds were 155. So that was a decent payout right there. Then we had a one hit. We had this guy to get one hit. He actually got two hits. We had the Cardinals for the first 5 innings, and then they ended up just winning straight up anyway. I didn't trust the bullpen for the St. Louis. That's why I went with the first 5 innings only. But that was still good for us. Then we had Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. These dudes have been hitting for us very consistently. They even walked. They're starting to walk this guy a lot more now. So you got to kind of be careful with this guy because they do walk him just like they were walking Judge last year. So, anyways, we got Ohtani right there to get one hit. We had Freddie Freeman to get one hit. And then we had Bobby Witt Jr. to get a hit, and then Alex Bregman to get a hit. So you can see this dude got 3 hits. So did Freddie Freeman. So, anyways, that was a good day. 8 wins, 3 losses. So 2 batters didn't get a hit, and I can't remember the other one, but it was 8-3 day overall. What's up? Good morning. Let me get right into the plays now. We had a 3-day winning streak again. We're on a 3-day winning streak right now, so we've been pretty solid. I have 2 games for you in this video, and then I have a bunch of batter props. There's, I think, 8 total batter props. Again, 8-3 day. I just shared exactly what it was. And now let me start real quick. I do love the Dodgers, the first game, not the second game. I didn't do the research for the second game, but it should still be solid. I just didn't do the research for it because I don't like doing the back-to-backs and the head-to-heads, or not the head-to-heads, the what do you call it? The double headers. So, anyways, let me just get it right into the first game right here. You can see the projections are the Tigers are supposed to win 6, and the Rockies are supposed to score 4. So whenever they're playing in Colorado, you got to be careful because these when they play in Colorado, they get a lot more hits and a lot more hits and a lot more runs. So you can see how high that total would be if they were to score that many. Would be 10. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I was looking at a batter today to go on the under 1 RBI. There was actually 2 batters that I liked, but just because they're playing in Colorado, I don't do that because they get a lot more hits and runs over there. Let me get right into it. Tigers have won 4 of the last 5. The Rockies have won one game in the last 5 games. Then we got the starting pitcher, which is Mize right here for the Tigers. He got a 2.7 ERA and a 1.0 whip. What that means, he barely walks anybody, and he's got a great ERA. He's also a ground ball pitcher, and that's great for Coors. Just like I said, the ball travels a lot more in Colorado, but this dude is great for that, to be opposing that. Then you got Freeland for Colorado. Look at the difference in his ERA right here, 5.7 compared to a 2.7. He walks a lot more batters, and he also struggles against righties. So OBA is 307 for Freeland. That means that Detroit should whoop this pitcher for sure. Bullpen edge, like I just mentioned. Overall, let's say once the starters are actually out and they bring in the bullpen, the Tigers are one of the best in the league. They got a 2.26 ERA. Compare that to a 3.63 ERA. And these are inflated numbers again because of Colorado. All right, so here's the quick breakdown. The Dodgers have there's a lineup edge right here against with the righties. So they got Torkelson, Green, and Baez. They should feast on Freeland. Rockies' offense is the worst in baseball. So the record for the Rockies is 6-29. They're actually the worst team in baseball right now. That's just the weather. Usually that's good to know because they have the reason they're playing a doubleheader today is because the game was delayed till today a couple of days ago because of the rain. Anyways, the Tigers, I'll show you. I'm not going with this number here. I'll show you exactly what I found it at. But I'm taking the Tigers money line. All right. So again, it's the best bullpen, which is the Tigers have the best bullpen versus the Rockies' ineptitude. Over 10 is very risky due to cold temperatures. But if Freeland starts getting hammered like he should be, then you might want to look at the over as well. So make sure you subscribe, guys. If you haven't done that, go to the link in the description. So first, subscribe to this channel. We share a lot of free stuff. If you looked at my previous videos, you can see that we've been winning. We've been hitting. We do make money. There's an actual Discord like I showed you in the past. I'm not going to do it right now, but there's a bunch of people making money inside the Discord as well. So make sure you do that. Also, there's a free section where you could get the alert on your phone and your email. Just go to the link in the description and click on free picks. Also make sure you subscribe to this channel. All right, here we go. If you're on Twitter, go to YouTube and type in Beast Sports Picks to get the free picks, or go to beastsportspicks.com. All right, second game I'm going to talk to you about is the Chicago White Sox. Let me zoom out a little bit. So you can see this is not so heavy as the other one. The trends here are supposed to be, the projected score is supposed to be Royals to win by a 0.5. So they're only favored by a very little. But you can see this last 5 games, these guys have have won 5 games in a row. Compare that to the White Sox. White Sox are only won 1 game in the last 5. The Chicago White Sox are heavy underdogs, I should say. And we'll talk about that. Bubeck right here for Royals, he's a even better ERA than the previous guy I just mentioned, 1.98 ERA. And then he's got a whip of 1.12. He's underrated, and he's very strong against weak lineups. And the White Sox have one of the weakest lineups. Now he's going against Martin over here for White Sox, 3.52. Look at the difference here. 198 compared to 352. Again, this whip is pretty similar. But look, this is a big difference right here. The decent. So this dude is actually not bad, but he does not have good backup. The bullpen for the White Sox is the worst in baseball. So I hope that makes sense. If you don't know what bullpen is when, the main pitcher comes in and he's decent, but then that's why, like, for example, in the Cardinals, I took the first 5 innings yesterday because the starting pitcher was decent, but then the bullpen sucks. So same thing with the White Sox. The White Sox have the worst bullpen. And what that means is when they relieve the main pitcher, when the backup pitchers come in, they suck. So I hope that makes sense. So there's a big edge right here for the Royals bullpen, 3.62 ERA. Compare that to the White Sox, 4.57 ERA. And then they have Bobby Witt Jr., which has been amazing. He's been getting a lot of hits. He had like a 21 game hit streak. That came to an end, but he's still getting a lot of hits. Then they got Pasquiano, Perez, and then the offense is the bottom 5 for baseball for the White Sox. It's cloudy, a little bit of rain maybe. Royals is too expensive. I'll tell you exactly what I'm going with. I am taking the Royals, but I'll show you my slip. All right, guys, for the Discord, like I said, there's a lot of people. There's about 50 or 60 people in there, and they're making money. They're sharing their plays. We're talking shop back and forth. And it's if you want the 7-day free trial for that, it's $10 a month. But if you want it for free for 7 days, you would type in the word comment, and you would get the Discord for free. So go to the link in the description, click on the Discord, and then type in the word comment. So the first play I'm going with, guys, is the Tigers -1. The reason I did that again is because of the odds. The odds were like at a minus 200 or minus 210 for the Tigers, maybe less than that, but whatever. I took the minus one so I can get better odds. Okay. I've already explained the pitching, pitching mismatch. That's hard to say. Pitching mismatch. All right. And then the Royals, it's so expensive. They were like at a minus 230, 240, whatever. I explained all the reasoning behind all the pitching and stuff. So I do believe, and then I already explained that Bobby Wood Jr. gets a lot of hits, things like that. I've already explained everything, the pitching staff, everything. So I do trust the Royals to win by 2. All right, so that's what I'm going with. Royals minus 1.5. You can see if you don't trust the Royals, like, I mean, they're not that great, but they're going against the White Sox. So if you don't trust this one, if you don't trust this line, you can go and get the Royals money line or the Royals minus 1, or you can do the Royals money line and parlay that together with the Dodgers or something like that. It's up to you, however you want to work that. All right. Here's something called the final edge, and that's also the link in the description. You can see it breaks down every single game. So for example, I'm not going to go I already explained the best ones that I like, and then I'm going to talk to you about some better props, but I'm just going to explain this very quickly. This is the entire breakdown of one game, so you get about one full page of analysis for one game. So let me give you a quick little breakdown of one game that I just talked about, which was the Royals. So literally, it just tells you this is what we think. This is the analysis. This is who's supposed to win. The last, where the public money's at, where the line shifted to, where the over/under line is at, the win probabilities, the percentage of the public betting versus the expert betting, the total amount of bets, the head-to-head performance, what they've done in the last 5 games. There's a whole lot of data here, and like I said, that's broken down. That's broken down by game and by sport as well. So we also have the NBA right here. Same thing. I've talked about this a lot in previous videos. I'm not going to do it here. But if you want access to this, it's called the Final Edge. And that's the link is in the description for this. Make sure you subscribe, guys. I'm going to hook you up with 8 batters now. So I hope that makes sense. Go to the link in the description. Click on free picks and also subscribe to this channel. So here's the batters, guys. Corey Seager to get 1 hit. He plays with the Texas Rangers. I'm not going to go into every detail about this. Somebody's asking about the NBA. I have not looked at the NBA. The reason is the NBA when it's in the playoffs, it's very fishy. Like you can have the best read for the game, but just because I talked about this yesterday. So like, for example, the OKC Thunder were supposed to win by 10 points. They were winning by 10 points in the halftime and then came back and lost. So basically what I'm trying to say is that whenever it's the playoffs, I kind of lean off because it's so unpredictable. And not only is it so unpredictable, there's not really an edge. One team is not dramatically better than the other when it gets closer like it is now in the second round. Because in the first round, yeah, it's a big mismatch. It's like the number 8 seed versus the number 1 seed. But now it's getting closer and closer and closer. So there's not a huge edge between one team and another. And then to top that off, there's no edge. And then on top of that, there's the money. The money's involved, meaning the NBA wants more games. So if it's a 3-2 lead on one team, even though that team is supposed to win, they'll lose on purpose because the NBA wants them to. So I hope that makes sense. I'm not touching the games today. That was a long explanation for me to say I don't think I'm touching the games for a little bit. I'm more focused on baseball right now. So we got Corey Seager. If you want to take a screenshot of this, I'll tell you what right here is telling you. What is this? What the hell is this? Give me a second. I gotta look at this. So yeah. Anyway, let me get back to this. So real quick, this is just something called insights. You can see the White Sox are 15%, Rockies are 13%, Dodgers are 80%. These are insights that are considered like money line insights, which means that I look at these a lot in football, especially, is that it tells you, like, for example, the White Sox are horrible. They're 3 for 16 in their last 19 games. The Rockies are also horrible. They're 4-26 in their last 30 games whenever they started as an underdog. So these are very powerful insights. And I actually, whenever I'm looking at football, especially, I look at these trends a lot. In baseball, it's more about pitching. In football, it's more about trends and the starters and injuries. And NBA also is about injuries. I'm not going to get into all the details, but this is a strong stat to look at called insights. I hope that makes sense. So now let me get back to the batter props. Corey Seager to get one hit. He plays for the Rangers, 80% hit rate. I'm not going to get into all the details, but he's exceeded this line 5 straight games on the road. Freddie Freeman, I already talked about. We had him yesterday and the day before and the day before after that. So we had him for 3 straight games. And look at this. He had 2, 2, and 3. So this dude has been powerful. The problem, again, is that he does not get pitched to sometimes. They're starting to walk him. So here it is, 12 straight games. He's gotten at least 1 hit. So Freddie Freeman to get 1 hit. Hunter Goodman from the Rockies, I already explained that whenever they're playing in Colorado, there's a lot more hits. So 90% hit rate for this dude right here. It's the first game, not the second game. For Hunter Goodman, he's exceeded this 10 of 11 straight games at home. Here's the next guy, Jordan Beck, 80% hit rate. You can see the last game, which was yesterday, he got 2 hits. We only need him to get 1 hit. He's exceeded this line 7 straight games at home. Next one is Austin Riley from the Braves to get 1 hit, 90% hit rate. 11 straight games at home he's got in this line. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., we had this guy yesterday. He's got 2 hits for us. We only needed 1. This is telling me, never mind this stat. This is considered 2 hits, which we're not looking at 2 hits. We're looking at 1 hit. So you can ignore this stat right here because he's projected to get 2 hits today, but we only need him to get 1 hit. All right. So anyways, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., that dude's been solid. And then Shohei Ohtani, I already explained, 90% hit rate in the last 10. And then the last one, guys, this one, this is a little bit confusing to explain unless you've been watching my videos, but this is not to get 1 hit. This is to go on the under 1 RBI. So flip-flop from what I just been talking about, 1 hits. Now we're going to talk about under RBI. This is the only guy I was able to find today. I already explained why, because some of the players were in Colorado and I didn't like it. But Ernie Clements from the Blue Jays, he's the 9th batter, which he's the last batter. You're going to have to parlay this with something else if you don't want to pay this juice, which is very high, of 275, 284, stuff like that. You're going to have to parlay that together with something else. But you can see in the last 20 games, literally in the last 20 games, he's gotten this 1 time. He's gotten 1 RBI in the last 20, and he's got 0 RBIs in the last 10. I've talked about this a lot in different videos, and this has been hitting very strong for us. This dude has failed to exceed this line, meaning he does not get this line 16 straight games. So even when there's a batter on base and he's up to bat, he gets this at a minus number, meaning he does not get RBIs. I hope that's making sense, guys. So that's a lot of information. Like I said, I do have the Tigers -1. I have the Royals -1.5. I have Freddie Freeman to get 1 hit. I had Freddie Freeman to get 1 hit. Corey Seager to get 1 hit. We had Hunter Goodman to get 1 hit. Jordan Beck to get 1 hit. Austin Riley to get 1 hit. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to get 1 hit. Shohei Ohtani to get 1 hit. And Ernie Clement to go under 1 RBI. So if you guys really like this sort of information, please make sure you subscribe. If you love this sort of information, please make sure you subscribe. Also, check out the Discord and check out the free picks. There's people on Twitter. If you go to the link in the description, there's a little play button. That'll take you to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe over there. Also, check out the free plays. We give a lot of free information. Let's make it another green day. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you all.